The most dangerous idea about you isn't yours. It's waiting for you, in the space between one heartbeat and the next, in the quiet moment right after you make a mistake, in the hush that follows someone saying your name a certain way. You don't remember the first time you heard it. You only remember the echo. You are too much. You are not enough. You are difficult. You are easy to forget. It never arrives as philosophy. It arrives as a tone, a look, a silence that stayed too long. And tonight, while the room is dark and your screen is the only small sun left burning, I want to tell you a secret about that idea. Come closer. You can bring your shame with you. It won't survive this. I was younger than my memory admits when the idea chose me. Not with words at first, with corrections, with sighs, with tired faces that said more than any sentence ever could. It wrapped itself around my name. It climbed into the pauses before people answered me. It crawled between the lines of every report card, every raised eyebrow, every forced smile. The idea was simple, lethal, and sticky. There is something wrong with you, and everyone can see it. I never sat down and agreed to it. I never signed a contract. It just settled in, like dust, like mold in a house with one small leak. And somewhere along the way, without noticing, I stopped hearing it as a suggestion and started hearing it as myself. I am too much. I am not enough. I am the problem in the room. The most dangerous idea about me was never mine, but I lived as if it was. This is the part where most people close the video because they feel something inside them starting to stir. A memory they've been ignoring. A sentence they've been repeating for so long it sounds like oxygen. But you won't, will you? Because you already know what I'm talking about. You've tasted this poison too. That one core belief that sits under every decision, every relationship, every night like this, where sleep stands outside the door and refuses to come in. The strange thing about a dangerous idea is that it doesn't kill you quickly. It prefers slow burns, so it becomes the flavor of your choices. You don't apply, because someone like you could never belong there. You don't speak, because someone like you will just sound foolish. You don't ask to be loved deeply, because someone like you should be grateful for crumbs. You call it being realistic, but reality had nothing to do with it. You inherited a script and started calling it truth. You wore it like a shirt, then like skin, then like bone, until you forgot it was ever put on you. If you listen closely, even now, you can hear where it came from. A tired voice that didn't know what it was saying. A laughing group that didn't know you'd keep that joke in your chest for 10 years. A world that profits from convincing you you're never quite enough as you are. They dropped their fear, their disappointment, their unhealed confusion into your open hands, and you mistook it for a mirror. You looked at their pain and saw your reflection. That's all a dangerous idea ever is. Someone else's wound wearing your face. The illusion undresses slowly. At first, it feels wrong to even question it. Because if I'm not the broken one, what was all that suffering for? If I'm not fundamentally flawed, then why did they treat me that way? Why did I treat myself that way? If I pull this thread, won't everything unravel? This is the part where most people close the video, because they feel the thread between their fingers. They could tug. They could let the costume fall. But the costume is familiar. Nakedness is not. You're still here. So let's pull. Gently. Start where it hurts. Think of something you're ashamed of right now. A pattern. A mistake you keep making. A part of yourself you drag behind you like a body instead of carrying like a child. Feel how quickly the sentences come. I always do this. This is just who I am. I never change. Of course I ruined it. Look at those sentences. Watch them like you'd watch a stranger's handwriting appearing on a page. Can you feel it? The distance between the raw sensation in your body and the story your mind rushes in to tell about it. The pounding heart, the tight throat, the burning cheeks. Those are real, immediate, alive. But then, the dangerous idea shows up, puts its arm around them and says, "See, this proves it. You are the problem. You have always been the problem. You will always be the problem." That leap from there is pain to I am wrong. That's where the idea lives. Not in the pain, in the interpretation. And that interpretation was taught to you. You did not invent it. You've just been rehearsing it. And you, right now, can you feel the split inside you? One part nodding along, saying, "Yes, that's me. Of course that's me." Another part, very small, very old, whispering, "What if it never was?" That tiny voice is why you're still listening. This video found you because that voice sent out a signal, a flare shot from a ship you've been sailing your whole life without realizing you were also the ocean. Here is the dangerous idea, naked. You are the story you believe about yourself. It sounds poetic. It sounds deep. It is a cage. Because the story you believe was written in rooms you don't even remember, by people who didn't know what they were doing, or knew exactly what they were doing, but had forgotten their own innocence so completely they couldn't see yours. You didn't choose the core sentence. You only chose to keep repeating it. That's the erotic tragedy of it, isn't it? You gave yourself to a lie, with more devotion than you've ever given the truth. You surrendered to it. Let it tell you who you are while you lay there, still and obedient, waiting to be named. Silence. So tonight, for the length of this whisper between us, we're going to do something dangerous in return. We're going to undress the idea that undressed you. We're going to touch that core belief with bare hands. We're going to feel how deep its roots go. And then we're going to notice something the idea never wanted you to see. You are not the soil it grew in. You are the ground beneath even that. This is the part where most people close the video, because they can sense what's coming. When you see the idea clearly, you can never fully go back to believing it blindly. Confusion has a certain comfort. Clarity does not. Clarity asks for a death. Not of you, of who you've been pretending to be. If you're still here, you're ready to die a little. Come closer. Look at this with me. Let's go back. Not in years, but in feeling. Think of a moment. Not the biggest trauma, not the loudest scene. Just a quiet one where you felt it. I am wrong for being like this. Maybe you spoke too loudly, laughed at the wrong time, asked a question that made someone sigh. Maybe you were too sensitive. Maybe you weren't sensitive enough. Something in the room shifted. You felt it in your stomach before you understood it in your mind. The air thickened. The eyes changed. The small, invisible thread that connected you to belonging tightened. And then, without words, an equation was written. Feeling this way, me. Their discomfort, my fault. This tension, proof that I am wrong. You were not taught to question the equation. You were taught to fit inside it. So you shrank, or you inflated, or you joked, or you went quiet. You chose some beautiful, creative strategy to survive, and then you forgot that it was a strategy. You called it personality. That's how the illusion clothes itself. First, it arrives as protection. I'll be the quiet one. I'll be the helpful one. I'll be the funny one. I'll be the one who never needs anything. Then, slowly, the costume hardens. You forget there was ever a naked, formless self underneath. You come to believe, this is just who I am. Take it or leave it. This is my nature. But it isn't your nature. It's your adaptation. It's your genius in a tight dress. and wearing it too long starts to hurt. This is the part where most people close the video, because realizing how much of yourself is borrowed can feel like losing ground. If I am not this pattern, this persona, this costume, who am I? You, though, you're still here. So you're ready to ask that question not as a philosopher, but as someone standing naked in front of a mirror for the first time. Here's the mirror. Look closely. Underneath the sentence, "I am too much," there is sensation. A rush in the chest, a flush in the face, a buzzing in the limbs. Underneath, "I am not enough," there is sensation, a heaviness, a sinking, a low hum of electricity in the gut. Underneath every identity, good or bad, there is sensation. Raw, wordless, honest. The dangerous idea about you feeds on those sensations like a parasite. It doesn't create them. It colonizes them. You feel something, and before you can just feel it, the idea jumps in front of it and says, "I know what this means." It never means anything kind. Let's try something illegal, just between us. For a moment, let something painful rise in you. Not a memory, just the feeling that you're not okay. You don't have to go far to find it. It sits just under your skin most days. There, that ache in the chest, that tightness, that almost crying that lives behind your eyes, even when you smile. Now watch what the mind does. Watch how fast it tries to paste a label on it. This is because I failed. This is because I'm unlovable. This is because I waste my life. This is because I'm broken. See that? The story rushing to claim the feeling. Now, just for the span of 3 slow breaths. What happens if you feel, without agreeing to the story? Silence, breath in. It aches. Breath out. It aches. No explanation. No verdict. Just sensation, moving through a body. It hurts, but it's clean. The moment you strip the dangerous idea away, pain goes back to being what it always was. Weather, not identity. And you, right now, can you sense even a millimeter of space opening between what you feel and what you think it proves about you? That space is everything. It's the first crack in the wall. It's where the light gets in. It's where the lie loses its anchor. It's where you begin to remember, this feeling is happening in me. It is not defining me. The mind will protest. It will say, if this isn't who I am, why has it been here so long? If this idea isn't mine, why do I believe it so easily? If I drop this belief, what will guide me? What will keep me safe from becoming worse? Listen to those questions with the same tenderness you'd offer a scared child, because that's what they are. You accepted their idea about you because you were trying not to lose them. Their love, their approval, their sense of safety. You traded a piece of yourself for the illusion of being held. That wasn't weakness. That was wisdom, with limited options. This is the part where most people close the video, because it hurts to see how much of their life was a bargain they never would have made as an adult. But you're still here. So let's not look away. You made a deal once. I will believe I am the problem, if it means I can still belong. Tonight, very quietly, you're allowed to renegotiate. You're allowed to say, I would rather belong to myself than to an idea that never loved me. Silence. Stay with that sentence. Let it repeat under your breath, without sound. I would rather belong to myself than to an idea that never loved me. If your chest feels tight, that's normal. If tears come, that's normal. If there is no feeling at all, just a blankness, that too is normal. All of it is what happens when a costume realizes it doesn't have to hold the whole sky together anymore. Underneath the identity, underneath the sentences, underneath the dangerous idea, something quieter is breathing. Not a character, not a role, just this. We are close now. Close to a small death. Not the end of you. The end of your agreement with something that was never worthy of your devotion. This is the part where most people close the video. But you won't, will you? Because somewhere in you, something has already decided. I am tired of being haunted by a thought that never belonged to me. Let's see what happens when we let it die. Death doesn't arrive with drama when it comes for an idea. It arrives as boredom. At first, anyway. You look at the thought you've worshipped your whole life. I am wrong. I am broken. I am too much. I am not enough. And for a very brief, disorienting moment, it loses its shine. Not because you force it, because you see it, really see it. Like seeing the back of a theater set for the first time. From the front, it was a city. From behind, it's wood and paint and screws. The dangerous idea about you is just wood and paint and screws. You've been living in cardboard. Let's walk through the death together. Bring the core sentence into your mind. The one that stings the most. You know it. You might not say it out loud, but you say it to yourself all the time. Maybe it's, I am unlovable. I ruin everything. I am a disappointment. I am never enough. Let it rise. Don't dress it up. Don't soften it. Just let it stand there in front of you, the way a nightmare stands at the foot of your bed. Now, notice 3 things. First, it is made of words, sounds in your head, nothing more. Second, those words were spoken, suggested, implied, or modeled by someone who was also drowning in their own dangerous idea. Third, right now, in this exact second, the idea is appearing in something. It is not the whole of what you are. It is a ripple in an ocean of awareness. You are not the sentence. You are the one hearing it. Silence. That gap is the death. The moment you see the idea as an object, it cannot be the subject anymore. It's no longer, I am a disappointment. It becomes, there is the thought, I am a disappointment. That subtle shift is the blade. It cuts the root. This is the part where most people close the video, because if they let that gap widen, their favorite suffering will have nowhere to sleep tonight. But your pain is tired of being meaningful. It just wants to be pain and then leave. Stay. What happens next is messy and holy. The mind will try to reattach the idea to you. It will say, okay, fine, maybe it came from them, but look at all the evidence. Look at your life. Bring the evidence into the same light. The failed relationship, the lost opportunity, the addiction, the nights you couldn't get out of bed, the days you hurt people, the words you wish you could swallow back. Don't turn away, but don't bow. See it all as behavior, not as proof. Behavior arises from confusion, from pain, from unmet needs, not from some original defect in the core of what you are. A dangerous idea about you would say, this is who you are. Reality, quiet, unsentimental reality, says only, these are things that happened while you were believing something untrue about yourself. Can you feel the difference? One locks the door, the other leaves it open. In the space where the belief begins to die, there is grief. Of course there is. You've built entire worlds on this foundation. Relationships chosen because they confirmed the story. Jobs accepted or rejected based on how well they fit the character you thought you had to play. When the belief crumbles, the worlds it built crack too. So let them. Let the tears come for all the years you spent wearing a name tag that didn't belong to you. Let the anger come for all the ways you treated yourself as if the lie were true. Let the tenderness come for the kid inside you who did the best they could with the story they were given. None of this means you are broken. It means you are waking up. Silence. Beneath the death, something very quiet is reborn. Not a new idea, not an opposite affirmation. I am not a disappointment, I am amazing. I am not unlovable, I am perfect. No, the mind loves swapping cages and calling it liberation. The rebirth is simpler, much more unsettling. It is the recognition that what you are cannot be captured by any sentence. Not the cruel ones, not the flattering ones. All of them are too small. You are not good. You are not bad. You are this mysterious capacity that can host goodness, badness, confusion, clarity, cruelty, kindness, like a sky that can host storms and sunlight without becoming either. The most dangerous idea about you said you were the weather. The most liberating realization is that you have always been the sky. This is the part where most people close the video, because some part of them whispers, if I stop believing I'm the storm, what excuse do I have left? Without the story, you are naked. Naked to responsibility. Naked to possibility. Naked to how vast you really are. Excuses are heavy, but they are also comforting. You're still here, which means you are ready to be a little less comfortable and a lot more free. The rebirth isn't a single moment. It's a series of small, quiet refusals. You think the old thought, and you don't salute. You feel the old shame, and you don't bow. You hear the old accusation, and you answer, I hear you. You are not mine. Again, and again, and again, until the idea grows tired of knocking on a door that never opens. Until one day, you realize it hasn't visited in a while, and in the space it once filled, something else has bloomed. A soft, steady knowing. I was never what they said. I was the one hearing it, the whole time. Now comes the most important part. Not the insight, not the death, not even the rebirth. The integration, the quiet, boring, sacred work of living as if what you just remembered is actually true. No one can see this from the outside. You won't get applause for it. There are no awards for refusing to believe a lie in the privacy of your own skull. But this is where your life slowly, beautifully, changes shape. It starts in small moments. Someone sighs. You feel that old flicker. I must be annoying. Instead of letting the idea slam into your chest and make a home there, you notice it. There is that thought again. You let the sigh belong to them, to their day, to their inner world you cannot control. You ask if it feels right. Rough day. Instead of, I'm sorry I'm me. That is integration. You make a mistake. Maybe a familiar one. The kind that used to send you spiraling into self-hate. The thought arrives on schedule. Of course, this is who you are. You ruin things. You pause. You feel the sting in the body. You let it sting. But you do not say, yes, sir, to the idea. You say, this is something I did, not something I am. You apologize if needed. You repair what you can. You learn what's available to learn. And then, this is the radical part, you let the moment pass. Not because you don't care, because you finally do. That is integration. You look in the mirror. The lines, the softness, the tiredness, the beauty, the history in your face, all appear at once. The dangerous idea tries to get in there too. You look old. You look wrong. You look like someone who wasted time. You breathe. You meet your own eyes as if you're seeing them for the first time. And you say, with the simplest, truest reverence, you look like someone who survived believing a lot of things that were never true. That is integration. This is the part where most people close the video because they want transformation to be fireworks, not dishes in the sink and difficult conversations and going to bed 15 minutes earlier. But you know better. You've lived through enough of your own drama to see that the real magic is always quiet. It happens in the second before you repeat an old pattern, when you choose, for once, not to. No one sees it, but you feel it. The axis of a life turning by 1 degree, over and over until the whole direction changes. Silence. Let's sit here, just for a few breaths, with the you that is left when the dangerous idea is gently set aside. Not the perfected you, not the healed, brand new you. Just this imperfect, breathing, blinking, feeling awareness that has been here through every version. The child who swallowed the idea, the teenager who rebelled against it or collapsed under it, the adult who kept functioning with it, whispering in their ear. You were the witness the whole time, unimpressed by the labels, untouched by the verdicts. You cried, you laughed, you despaired, you loved. Through all of it, something watched and stayed. That something is the real you, not the idea about you, not the new idea you'd like to replace it with, the nameless space in which ideas come and go. You don't have to define it. You don't have to sell it to anyone. You don't even have to hold on to this realization. You can't anyway. All you have to do is remember, from time to time, I am not what I think I am. I am the one noticing the thinking. This is the part where most people close the video, because the mind is already trying to turn this into homework. How do I stay in this state? How do I do this right? How do I make sure I never forget again? Smile at that. The dangerous idea about you always needed maintaining, feeding, rehearsing. The truth needs none of that. It will be here whether you remember it or not. Your forgetting doesn't scare it. Your confusion doesn't stain it. Your entire life has taken place inside something that has never once believed the lie about you. Call it awareness. Call it presence. Call it whatever lets your shoulders drop. It doesn't care what name you use. It knew you before anyone had the chance to tell you what you are. If this is the last thing you hear tonight, let it be the first thing that truly wakes you up. The most dangerous idea about you isn't yours. You inherited it. You rehearsed it. You suffered for it. You are allowed, starting now, to put it down. You do not have to replace it with a shiny new costume. You can simply live, one small, trembling moment at a time, as the one who knows, I am not the story. I am the silence that keeps listening even when the story stops. Silence, sleep, if it comes. Cry, if it comes. Laugh at yourself in the dark, if that's what arrives. You are not behind. You are not late to your own life. You're right on time to remember what you never truly forgo.